And welcome back. Today, we look out over the night of Stormreach, and we're going to go explore the harbor. I will say, first couple things you do, you do Korthos and or keep on the borderlands when you first start this game. Nice and segmented, easy to know you did everything. Hit P and open up your quest list. You can even just see you've done all the level 1 quests. And then the capstones for those 2 areas were level 2. Nice and easy. From this point on, there are a lot of quests in just kind of random spots. Now they are most of the time grouped together, especially new content. New content is almost always squished together in one area, one level range. You're intended to do it in a chunk. Old stuff, kind of shotgun all over the place. So we're going to be looking at primarily the harbor. I don't know if I've ever seen that particular ship there. So on Eberron, it's a steampunk kind of more high magic setting. So that little twirly water thing around that ship is because the engines are actually powered by elementals. That's a water elemental powering that ship. And the ring is denotating that it's a magic ship. The ring is kind of what's controlling the water, so that lets the ship move. This, regular sailing ship. There are also airships, which are really sweet, and some very sad, almost 2D birds flying around. But the airships are sweet. You actually get to fly around on some of the airships in some of the later quests. I like that quest. It's newer stuff, though. So, we're going to start out the harbor, and generally we're aiming to do all of the level 2 quests is kind of what we're aiming for. Body Cartamon. He is going to give us a little red bag here. What this bag does, if you double click on it and hit auto gather, I'm also going to lock it in my inventory and it can live in that first slot. What this is going to do is all those little collectible nodes you run by in the game, like the mushrooms or bits of wood or books you find, they're going to go in that bag instead of taking up an inventory slot each. This is the starter bag. It can only hold 12 different ones, but before too long we'll be able to buy the one that holds a lot more. Nice little quality of life thing, and they just give it to you for talking to the first guy you can talk to after getting off the boat from Korthos. He asks us to go help his employee. They are having a bit of a vermin problem. Kobolds keep breaking in and stealing his stuff. So we're going to grab our hireling and we're going to protect this box for 5 minutes. That's the quest. It is technically a protect mission in that you have to protect this box. On normal mode, I could almost just leave the hireling on aggressive and go eat a sandwich. This is a very old quest. This is a quest from when I started playing this game. Oh. It must have been 2008 I started playing this game. Almost right after it went free to play, because you used to pay a subscription for this game. And they were one of the many games that jumped to free to play. There was a whole bunch of games that all went free to play like at the same time, because it was kind of seen as the new model. And they were basically right. So you might look at like World of Warcraft and be like, oh, but they never switched to free to play and they're the biggest one. Well, they're the biggest one because they're the biggest one. They've got the biggest, they've gotten such name recognition, and most people have good memories of playing it when they were in high school. Like the people who they are getting money from are the people who played the game in high school. I don't think you're getting a lot of just random, high schoolers these days getting their mom to pay their WoW subscription. Like, it's established players. We haven't really seen anything Warcraft related in a while. They made a movie. I didn't hear anything good about it, so I didn't even see it. But anyway, the free-to-play model, what I was going to say is, it's kind of the standard model these days. It doesn't look like it, but free-to-play with microtransactions, basically buying quest packs in this game, that's kind of how things work in most games. It's just that you know what you're getting in this game, as opposed to something like Fortnite. Fortnite sells skins, which is effectively the same as buying a race or a class in this game. Battle Pass is kind of the same as just buying a quest pack. And at least there's no loot boxes here. Loot boxes are really the... Loot boxes are the evolution of the free-to-play model. You don't have to buy any loot boxes, but it'll be more fun if you do. Ask your grandma for a loot box. It's so bad that my niece is she basically only wants loot boxes. Like, she just wants the physical ones. Some little, like, toy that you have to pay $5 for a little plastic thing. I guess $5 if you're lucky. And I remember we had these when I was little. You go to the grocery store and there was a little machine on the way out. You put a quarter in, you get some tiny little plastic toy. But it was a quarter. Right? They were basically free. Like, by today's standards, it would probably be like $1, but it's still like, whatever. I'll throw 50 cents to $1 at a little toy. Yeah, the kid will lose it in a day or two, but maybe they'll get something cool and they'll treasure it. I have a couple of those dumb little toys that I held on to because you have good memories of them and stuff, but it's not quite the same when they're like $5 to $10 each, right? They're not quite the same when they're competing with actually buying a toy. Like, I'm not going to spend $10 on a loot box toy when I could spend $10 on an actual action figure. Like, fortunately, my son hasn't got into any of that stuff yet. He wants toys, but he wants, like, and he understands that a present is a toy he doesn't know what is yet. But he does not value the box opening itself yet. And we're going to keep it that way. I'm going to try not to even buy him packs of Pokemon cards. He's going to tell me what character he wants. I'm going to teach him how to get on TCG Player. There we go. I guess I didn't need to kill that one. Alright, that's 5 minutes of walking around in a circle killing kobolds. There's really not a lot else I could have done there. Sometimes a protect mission's a protect mission. So, now that you've heard way more about my opinion on loot boxes than you cared about, we're going to move on to... going to find Harmon Taft, who is also standing in this exact same spot. We're going to do a little espionage. Supposedly, this is Body's competitor, Hazadil. We're just going to break into his place and smash all his stuff. Because supposedly Hazadil was the one sending the kobolds to mess with Body's stuff. So there's no enemies in this quest. We literally are coming in here and we're going to beat up 50 boxes. That's what we're doing. I'm using Q to see if I can highlight crates so I can spot them a little easier. Something interesting they did in these early Dungeons and Dragons online quests is you are not always, strictly speaking, the good guy. You are just some rube who showed up in the harbor. Some guy asked, like, hey, you want to go smush some crates over there? And we're like, yeah. Yeah, you pay me to do it? Okay. We are legitimately just... We're not even really an adventurer yet. We're a sellsword. We just need money and reputation. So we're just doing whatever jobs we can get. We're level 3, right? It's not time to suplex Ao, or however you say his name, the god of gods. Yeah, we're not quite that level yet. We'll get there. But I do like how, at least early in Dungeons & Dragons Online, they tried to put in a little more morally gray stuff. Like, yeah, technically they said this guy was a pirate. So, like, is it okay to steal from a thief? Is kind of like one of those philosophical questions. I don't think it's got a clean answer. I will say it's kind of dangerous to steal from a thief, because if somebody's willing to break one law, they're probably willing to just kill you. Especially in a world where killing people is not frowned upon. I mean, if I kill him in town, right, the guards will come after me. There's never any repercussions for walking in. Like, even if Hazadil was in here right now and I stabbed him, nothing would happen. I believe we actually do end up killing Hazadil later. So, I know that he really is a bad guy. But my level 3 character doesn't know that. Some of these harbor quests are... You gotta think that this was maybe their original box-breaking tutorial before they had Korthos. Because I believe Korthos was added later. Oh, I missed a box. You actually don't need every box. There's way more than 50 boxes in this place. Climby, climb, climb. There's a lot of, like, weird, like, mechanically, we'll say mechanically unique quests in the harbor. Things that they don't really repeat later. We're going to see a couple of solo quests, for instance. Quests that you just physically cannot do in a group. It will not let you enter the quest in a group. It will not even let you summon a hireling. That's how solo they want you to be in those quests. Alright, we're just about done here. Kerbonk and bonk. And we're out. How much time did that take? 4 minutes? So almost the same amount of time as protecting the box in the first quest. Just more active. Not particularly dangerous. If you are a VIP, or for whatever reason you can go in on elite mode on your first try, you just do it. There's no enemies. So it turns out while we were sabotaging Hazadil came and stole that box that we just spent 5 minutes protecting. So we're gonna go steal it back. Seems like if he would have just hired me to stand there for another 5 minutes, we would have skipped this whole thing. All the kobolds are here this time, though. So in we go again. Oh, I gotta remember I have my fancy new button I can press. Let's see, so we're doing 15 damage. Let's see how much I do with Divine Might. Probably not a whole lot more. 18. Then a bad roll. Then it's like, hooray, we're doing less damage. That button's not super impressive yet, but it is a 2-minute long buff. That's going to happen a lot with Paladin, that you have all these like little like 2 to 5 minute buffs, which is plenty. Yes, you have to push the button more than once per quest, but they're way more potent than a lot of the other combat buffs. But they're long enough that it doesn't feel like a waste. I personally hate the action boosts they have in this game. They're like little 30-second buffs that give you like some of the best buffs in the game for 30 seconds. Like, they're literally like one, not even one room, one fight, like one bad guy's worth of buff. Compared to 2 minutes, I can clear a room. 2 minutes is an entire boss fight. 2 minutes is multiple rooms. I still have I've got half of my time left on the one I clicked just for funsies. So we're not really stopping to kill all the kobolds. We're just kind of whacking them as we go. Bonk. We do need to kill shamans if we see them. Shamans are the spellcasters, and especially higher level versions of them, or if you're playing on hard or elite mode, they have spells that will mess you up. Whack, whack. Oh, shaman. Right now they don't hurt too much because I'm on normal mode. But you could be a big tank with 1,000,000 armor class, and they're going to cast a lightning bolt and just roast you. Alright, this is pretty much the end of the quest. Bonk. There is a trap here. So, there's a lever up here. There's a dart, like an Indiana Jones style dart trap right here. It's shooting darts across. How do you deal with this trap? You don't. That's what we're here for. You just walk along the edge and take it. You don't have to go through that trap. I think there is technically a treasure chest over there if we, say, jump over the trap, climb the ladder. I think if we pull this lever, it makes the door open. Yep. So we can go get the treasure chest. I don't think I've ever bothered getting the treasure chest. I initially thought that it was just there for turning the trap off, and then the trap didn't turn off. Oh look, another trap. I am not a trapper. I am a paladin. We just took a chunk of damage. If you're on elite mode, you're dead. You know what happens then? You have your hireling pick up your stone and you run backwards with your ghost, with your hireling following you until you get to the resurrection shrine. You touch it, you run back through here, and you get your loot. Or you just make sure you put your shield on before you open chests, because you take less damage with the shield on. Still, that one, much faster when you have a goal in mind other than break all the boxes. Get ourselves a reward. Off the top, just glancing, I'm not seeing anything I really care about. Oh, well. Sheltering and... oh, no, we have fortification. We want to keep our fortification. I don't care about anything here. Alright. I made myself another spreadsheet. Spreadsheet says just keep doing level 2 quests, because there's a million. The harbor in general is going to be basically all level 2 quests. There's a couple outliers, but if you walk up to some, like, the game won't let you walk into a quest that's too far above you. Like, there is a level, like, 17-ish quest right here. You can't take the quest. It will not let you. You cannot accidentally walk into a quest that's more than 4 levels above you. And 4 levels sounds like a lot, but it's kind of not. You're better off not doing it, but you won't instantly die. So, Fitzpat the Fence. To be honest, I don't like this quest. He sold... Well, for one thing, he gives me a gem bag. So, if I hit this gather button, look! Some of those gems we got from the treasure chest popped in there. It's gonna live right there in my second slot until I replace it with a bigger version of the same thing. Oh, we've already picked up some of those Christmas coins again. They're going to live in the bag, so they stop being in my inventory. Alright, Smuggler's Warehouse. We are hired, and that's going to be how we start every other quest, is we were hired to do a thing. We were hired because this guy sold some fake gems. At least I think that's what this quest was. He wants his gems back. They're known to be in here. I think maybe it was like a pirate treasure kind of thing. But whatever. There's 10 gems in here. We have to go get them. The reason I don't really like this quest is the gems are randomly placed. And thanks to the nature of RNG, I have spent an inordinate amount of time running around in this quest, hitting every barrel trying to find the stupid gems. Because they don't drop in treasure chests. They are literally like, just like the quest we just did recently. You hit something and you look and see if you got one. Now, Strimtom, a prolific DDO YouTuber, is doing a similar leveling guide right now, more focused on actually running all elite mode, and he's playing on the hardcore server, which, if you're new, do not play on the hardcore server. Do not do that. It's a permadeath server. You die once, your character's done. It is intended for experienced players. But sometimes he mentions, I watch along, and sometimes he mentions something I didn't know. For instance, he says in this quest, the crates never have the gems in them. It's only the barrels, specifically. So if I hit these, we shouldn't find one. So we're going to just hit these opening ones, just to see. Yep, I don't see anything. There's a cold trap, like a cone of cold kind of thing right here. So we're gonna... Oh, I forgot to actually pick up the key? Really? How did I forget to pick up the key? I guess because the Cobalt jumped down, and normally you have to climb up here to get him. Anyway, the key's up there. Try that again. So, the trap, if I remember right, is right on the other side of the door. Yeah, right there. Apparently you can get the Cobalt to set it off. I'm just gonna throw myself over here. Ooh, a barrel. Up, there's our first ruby. How about this barrel? Ooh, another ruby. Got 2 in a row. I saw another barrel up on top of these crates. Come on. Fine, I'll just climb this one directly. Climby to climb. 3 for 3? Nah. That would have been cool, though, if it was 100% with the crates. That would have been nice. Oh, barrel? Barrel. Got a third one. I'm hoping that this goes a little faster if I'm specifically only going out of my way to hit barrels and ignoring crates, because just like that one that's just break 50 crates, like, it's not hard to break a crate, it's just kind of time consuming to have to clear every single one of them. Alright, I don't see more barrels, and that Cobalt is up on the ledge, so he's not going to chase us, so I'm going to ignore him. He can't kill me. Whack. Nothing. So these little floor grate things, 99% of the time, it's just a cool little patterny thing they put on the floor. You can see that there's like a little like sewer below. It's just cosmetic. But a lot of the time, if there is a trap, it's going to be on this thing. There's going to be like a flame jet or something. So it's kind of a good idea to just not step on bits of floor that look different, just out of habit. Honestly, that's good advice for life in general. If you're walking in the city and you're walking over one of those open sewer grates and you drop your keys, boom, gone forever. I'm always super paranoid about that. I just don't walk on them, and then if you drop something, you didn't drop it down the sewer grate. Just don't walk on them. There's plenty of other space to walk on. Alright, we've got 4 already. Ooh, 5. We're halfway there. Halfway out of here. This is not the worst quest, because at least there are... Ooh, up to 6. There are bad guys in this quest. There's treasure chests if you go exploring. There's actually a reasonable amount of quest to this quest. It's just I don't like the premise of the things are randomly placed. I want to be able to kind of speedrun my way through quests because I play a lot of different characters. So I want to just beeline towards where I know things are. And that doesn't work when the things are randomly placed. That's my only problem with it. The idea of the quest is fine. There's traps here. I run straight down the middle, and the traps can't quite reach. Either that or I was moving too fast, but I doubt that my little 15% movement speed boots are that quick to be ahead before the trap activates. But we're going to go test it. Let's test it, just in case you are, you know, crazy and running on the hardcore league. Or maybe you're just on elite and you don't want to take a whole bunch of damage for no reason. Let's just double check. Running through exactly the middle. Look at that. Exactly the middle. Doesn't reach. This is why you play the quests on normal first. You'll know where the traps are. And you have enough HP on normal mode to just kind of take hits from the trap until you find the right place to stand. Come on, barrels. Yeah, we only need 3 more. This whole quest is basically a square. We started more or less in the middle. I went that way. We're just going to kind of keep going in the square around that center square. And hopefully by the time we get to the center, or we run out of outside, we've hit enough barrels to have finished the quest. Still trying to only hit barrels, just to see if Strimtom was right. Oh, there's another one. Womp. Womp. Any more barrels? So, there's a fire trap up here. So we're going to put my shield on. And I want to say... just not stopping was enough to get through that trap. And that's going to happen a lot. It is not because the game is old and slow. It's not a lag thing. It's legitimately there is a delay on the trigger of the trap, and if you keep moving, it will fire behind you. Note I have that plus 15% movement speed, so I am slightly faster than normal. Ooh, I need to actually put my sword back on. Movement speed will legitimately get you around a lot of traps. That is intended. The trap is not supposed to just explode when you get within a certain number of pixels. The trigger for the trap is not in the same spot as the trap. There are just a lot of traps that you can get by casting haste and sprinting through it. That is completely intended. I don't need to go out of my way to get those. Barrel? We only need one more, so every barrel could be the last one. How about you? Yeah, we out. That was 10 minutes. It doesn't feel like 10 minutes. They've got a little completion time if you look at X for your experience report. 10 minutes. Still. It's done. Yeah, bunch of people there. Hardy is Constitution? Yeah. So, remember, we get a bonus every 2 points. So that actually maybe is good that we get +2 Constitution, but I still like my fortification. Yeah. Just not taking the spikes of damage, I think, is what I want. This is Cobalt's new ringleader. This guard is like, hey, those kobolds look way too organized. Go look. I'm an expendable adventurer, and then he doesn't end up, you know, he's just a guard. He's a beat cop, right? He's not going in there. He's waiting for his warrant. He's waiting for his warrant. I'm a private investigator. So, there's a pretty infamous little trick to this quest. Normally you have to go down there, flip a lever, go through, fight a little, like, mini-boss kind of guy. He's very weak. It's level 2, remember? Or, you come over here and don't break this box. Just run up and jump on it. If you can't jump that high, jump on the little box first, then on this one. Pull yourself up onto this one. Alright, we skipped half the quest. Just call your hireling to you, keep going. People repeat this quest over and over again because this is a lot of XP. Like, this is like double the XP of like any other quest of this level. So people run this one over and over again. You do get diminishing returns, but only this when you repeat the quest on the same difficulty. So people will play, and they used to have this all mathed out, but they would start on elite, I think, and do it a couple of times until like they got the XP penalty, but they got the penalty with the elite bonus, so it wasn't as hard of a penalty. Like, it kind of mitigated it a bit. And then when they started getting too much of a penalty, they would then go run it on hard, and then possibly normal. Because the first time on hard and the first time on normal override the repeat penalty. Get a whole bunch of free loot. More free loot. Those two red named guys, red, orange, those two named guys, they are random. They do not always spawn. Sometimes you'll walk in this room, there's neither. So usually you only get one. I got both of them today. We got 136 XP each for those optional extra guys. There's also find guard Jung's lost badge, because he got his badge stolen when he tried to investigate this. If you have a high enough strength, you can push that door open and break that crate. His badge is back here in this spidery infested spot. Now, why he would, like, I don't know if see, it's just right here on the ground. I don't know if he was using this as his staging area for spying on him, or if the spider stole his badge. I don't know. They just stuck the badge in a, like, cute little corner spot. I usually don't bother getting it. I was just showing where it was. There's another little neat trick you can do on this side. See how that Cobalt just ran through that fire trap? That's a scary fire trap. And it's not a single-use fire trap. If those Cobalts would be nice and demonstrate that the fire trap is not a single use, whatever. If I wouldn't trust it, especially if you're on the hardcore. So you can actually go climb this box and go boing, and now I'm on the other side of it. So even if it was constantly streaming, just jump over it, use the box. There's a reason this game has a jump button. I mean, when was the last time your jump button in World of Warcraft meant anything? You are absolutely intended to jump on top of things, use the terrain to your advantage. Smite! Yeah, we're a two-handed fighter, and we're on normal mode. These guys don't stand a chance. Two-handed paladin. We're the fancy fighter. So that was what? 2,000 experience instead of 1,000 that we get from like everything else? I don't know why. This one just has a higher base XP. I think they've even nerfed it a couple times, and it's still really good XP. People just do this quest over and over again to level up, and then they just leave the harbor. They don't even do everything else. On that note, I am doing all of the quests on purpose. I'm going to be very over-leveled for most of them by the time I get through them. You can absolutely skip a whole bunch of these and still just keep on moving on, because you get higher level quests give you more XP. So unless you're going for like I'm doing and doing every single quest, which unless you're doing every single quest, there's a lot of these you could skip because they're not really worth a lot of XP. This one, for instance. What can I do for you, oh churchy guy? We're going to bring the light to some gamblers. This is another one of those questionably moral ones. Not that I'm a fan of gambling, but we're coming in here and murdering all of the bouncers. Okay. I'm using a great sword, and I am violently attacking these guys. I have not been invited. I'm just coming in, smacking these guys with a giant piece of metal, smashing their gambling tables because the church told me to. Not even my church. A church. We go this way. We don't go this way. You gotta watch out for these dogs. Supposedly these dogs kill people a lot on the hardcore server. I am on normal mode, so I am also now just kicking all of these people's dogs. But if you're on, a higher difficulty, dogs, every dog, not just dogs, wolves, iron defenders, anything vaguely wolf-shaped automatically has the trip ability. So you might walk in and be like, psh, it's a bunch of dogs. And then you're lying on your back, looking up at a whole bunch of dogs. It can happen. Especially if you're running through here on Elite, like, oh, look, I can do these all really easy. I'll just do them all on Elite. And then you end up mobbed and chain tripped. Because unlike most MMOs, there is no timeout for status effects. If you get tripped and you wait out the timer and you stand back up, you can immediately be tripped again. There is no protection. So you could just be dead. If we turn these runes right here, I don't have any of the stats to do so, but I bet you that my cleric hireling can do that wisdom one. We open a secret door. We look in the mirror. Oh, look at that. A secret door opened behind us. And there's the actual boss of this casino. Is it right? I mean, I've heard of like underground gambling rings and stuff, and maybe this was the kind of place where like you could gamble like your children and then they would like break your fingers if you didn't give them up, kind of thing. Maybe that was a bad gambling den, but they don't specify any of that. They kind of just say they're gambling and gambling itself is bad, so everyone needs to die. Probably a little extreme. Oop. Just a little bit. There's another quest right here I'm very purposely saving for last, because I'm kind of hoping we'll be level 4 before we do it, or we get shinier gear, because that quest sucks. No getting around it. Oh, we also probably need another hireling. This one, not so bad. This is Scrag. Scrag wants you to get these dogs out of his sewer. However, he is a nice Cobalt, and these dogs are just lost. You fail the quest if you kill the dogs. I'm taking my hand off of my mouse. I do not have auto attack on. These are just mangy dogs that wandered into this Cobalt spot, and he's just like, please get them out. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want them to hurt me. Please just get them out. And again, dogs can trip. So we got 4 of them chasing me right now, and you just walk back to the entrance of the quest, and when they hit, I think about that water right there. Maybe this water. Nope, further. They despawn. Boop, boop, boop. 2 more dogs to find. This is one of those solo quests I mentioned. I could not bring the hireling in here if I wanted to. I don't know why it's solo only. Probably because it would get kind of easy to screw up, I guess. You've got... I guess you wouldn't want, like, the computer getting confused and the dogs are trying to chase 2 people at the same time. I don't know. All you have to do is survive a couple of dog bites and just run them to the entrance. It's almost not worth the time to do this quest, but it's there, and I like to have my quest list all lit up and happy. Yes, it's not even worth any XP. We got that much XP killing, like, an optional guy who spawned in that other quest. But, you know, it's another one done. There's only, like, 5 solo quests in the game. It's kind of a weird thing that doesn't come up very often. One of them's, like, a level 19 quest. Like, for some reason. So again, we're hired to do something. None of this is world-saving stuff right now. This guy, somebody stole his toolkit. We're going to go get his tools back. That's it. And it happens that we're also going to take out a bunch of kobolds and troglodytes and stuff. Kill that guy. If you can, again, these kobolds are somewhat smart. Kill him before he rings the gong. The other guys don't wake up to come fight you. We're going to turn this valve. That'll open the door. You can see the pipes and stuff on the walls. This is like legitimately like a steampunk type setting. They also have magic, not just steam, but can we catch him? Nope, didn't quite get him before he opened the thing. So especially if you're playing on a higher difficulty, try to snipe him down. If you're a caster or an archer or something, shoot him down. Don't have to fight those guys. Smash some more stuff. I want to say there's a secret thing in here. Yeah, see, I don't know why I can see it. Ooh, don't want that. But there's a secret door there. Probably just has an extra bad guy to fight. I can't find the door. My guy dumb. I go down main road. My guy dumb. I just run through the trap. If you are not trying to just run through the trap, I think there's a lever over here somewhere. Let's see. Lever? Lever. No more trap. Again, if you're playing on normal mode, the traps are generally ignorable. But still pay attention to what and where they are. So when you do play on a higher difficulty, so that sentry was killed, so I don't have to fight everything. Just the one other guy. If you know where the traps are and you know how to handle them, you can play higher difficulties much easier. Because it sucks when you're like, I have this great combat build. Look at this. None of these enemies can hurt me. And then you step on a trap and you just explode. Because you were just too lazy, like I was, to bother turning the trap off before running through it. You can get pretty lazy. Like, I'm going to use F1 to target me, because it targets the first person in your group. And you're always the first person from your point of view. And I'm going to hit that heal button, just to top off my health. We're going to hit a valve. Bloop. And the Dungeon Master narrator text there is trying to hint that jump in the water, go look for something else. What do you find? You find exactly the same thing you found before. We went this way. If we had gone this way, we would have ended up here instead and done the exact same thing. Flip the valve, swim underneath the middle to the other side, and flip the other one. And in between, there's a big old gate that now that we hit both of those, the gate's open. And I actually made it without running out of breath. We do have that water breathing ring, which I could have used. But you take damage pretty slowly when you're drowning, and it doesn't stop your movement or anything, so I think some of my characters have enough HP that they just physically cannot drown, even if they like went and got a drink and came back. We hit the things, we don't hit that thing. So oozes are basically mobile traps in this game. If I hit that ooze, I can kill it, but it will damage my weapon. So I'm picking up the tools that were sitting right there. I'm going to grab my treasure. I'm going to put the hireling in between me and the thing and hope that the hireling kills it. There we go. Now I can leave. Mostly because I'm too lazy to go repair my weapon, so I'm trying not to accidentally hit oozes with it. It is only going to matter in the harbor. There are oozes other places in the game. There's also rust monsters and just a whole bunch of other things that can try to wreck you by eating your equipment away. All it will do is mean you have to go repair. So, like, I can step into this apothecary. Doesn't even matter what kind of shop. You walk in, repair, add, repair. If your durability on your weapon just goes all the way to 0, like this one says, that blue bar is all the way full, 120 out of 120. If it hits 0, all that means is you can't use it until you go repair it. And very occasionally you might lose some of that maximum durability, but it's so rare that you care because you replace your stuff so often. I'm going to go ahead and just unload all of this crap while I'm here. You don't really need to pay that much attention to what you're throwing away. We're only missing one slot, and just look at named items, especially when you're leveling up. Like, we are about halfway through this level. If you want to, you can go look at all the items and min-max getting stronger. It's not going to do as much as you would like at this low of a level. What it's going to mean is you spent a lot of time reading items and getting yourself all worked up because, like, oh, I need to make sure I'm wearing always the best thing. Is this armor better than this armor? It doesn't matter. Until you get to, like, actual content, like level 5 or so, any old random thing is fine. If you are, by the time you're coming back and running things on elite mode or reaper mode, you will know what you're doing. And you will know what items are good or not because you've got a bunch of named items over the course of your character's career, and you can tell at a glance. Don't worry about it at the beginning of the game. It's not worth it. I did not come prepared for this quest. This is the Butcher's Path. There are a metric buttload of kobolds in here. There's also a couple of oozes, and I do not have a way of killing the oozes without potentially breaking my weapon in the process. We are, however, pretty good at killing kobolds because we're on normal mode and we have a giant sword. Just want to be careful. See, there's the game warning me about oozes. Good job, hireling. Now, oozes tend to sneak. So if your spot skill is high enough, you might see oozes just chilling where I don't. Because I don't have spot. I put all my points into use magic device. But maybe you're playing a ranger or a rogue and you've got a bunch of spot. So that goes for every stealthing enemy. If you have enough spot, you can see them crouching there waiting for you to walk by, and you can hit them. Because you can see them, you can target them and hit them with a spell or a bow or something, or just know to run up to them. Here's the thing, though. Everything in this game exists, whether you can see it or not. So you can also just know if there's a stealth guy in the quest there, and you can blow his stealth by manually shooting your bow at that spot, and he'll just go, "Aw, dang it." Another way to do it is, if you're a wizard, just throw fireballs in front of you. The AoE of the fireball is going to hit things whether or not they're stealthed. Be a warlock. Warlock and just spamming Eldritch Blast. You'll uncover all of the stealthy guys because they'll just randomly die. You'll just be like, look, an empty room. Fireball. 10 dead kobolds. There's some traps and a treasure chest if you like work your way through this water section. I think I've done it once. It's just a little bonus thing. I don't normally bother going through all the side paths because the best loot in the game is named loot because, as we discussed before, it can break the rules and have more than 2 bonuses on it. They usually have rare bonuses on them. Named items are good. Named items almost exclusively drop in the final treasure chest of a dungeon, the one after you've beat the dungeon boss and completed all the challenges. And because of that, it's kind of rare to bother opening up the other treasure chest, or like going out of your way for the other treasure chests. There's a couple quests where the named item drops in a specific side chest and not the end chest, but that's pretty rare. The rule of thumb is that everything drops from the last chest, so the faster you get to the last chest, the more named items you're going to get. So the whole, like, shtick, like, the whole reason you're even in this quest, the shrine is down there, but there's an ooze right there, just to give you a heads up. The whole reason you're here is this is just kind of testing your mettle. They're like, oh yeah, you think you're a tough guy? Go walk the butcher's path. So you do. That's the story of this quest. Is somebody double dog dared you to run through here. That's the quest. So we've cleared at least 80 monsters. Now we just have to reach the exit, which is up there. There's an underwater door that leads to a named guy. He's there. You can fight him. He gives you an extra treasure chest. I'm not in the market for treasure, so I'm just going to go to the exit. There's almost always another named guy right here as well, who is going to interfere with my wanting to climb, leave. So, kicked his butt too. Take my treasure, and we're out. That one's also good XP, and I just like that you get to nail a bunch of stuff. There's no backtracking. I hate backtracking. I like that quest. I don't suppose... Oh, well, here's the quarterstaff. Good enough. I'm going to see if that quarterstaff is good enough to get us through the next quest. Because there's a lot of oozes. Dirk the Deranged has a secret. He's totally not telling us that these Cobalt brothers have treasure. That's not what he's saying. That is not his secret. Yes, we heard you the first time. Oozes and slimes are bad. So, I'm kind of thinking if I grab this wooden quarterstaff, I may not be, it's not as good as my sword, but it still technically counts as a two-handed weapon. So I still get to use two-handed fighting. Oh look, kobolds. I don't pay attention to how much damage I take because it's the hireling's job to heal me. It is my job to kill everything fast enough that the hireling's AI remembers to heal me. I'm pretty sure we're up against oozes next. So I know they exist, so I'm just kind of swinging. Just kind of hoping that I find them and get the first hit. There we go. Knocking out some oozes. There's probably more. I can't see them because I don't have spot. So I'm just kind of swinging in place because I know they're here. The Dungeon Master warns you they're here too. He says that it looks like the ooze is coming for you. Alright, I think I'm safe to switch back to sword. Whack, whack. Okay, come back here. Ah, there was another ooze. How much damage did my sword take? Okay, barely any. Barely any. I only nicked him once. That's fine. So, we're here to mess with the Cobalt brothers. First one is on the left side. I think technically it doesn't matter what order you go in, but I always go the left side first. I believe he's right here. Cobalt Chieftain. Down he goes. Oh, this says it's the second one. But the second one has a lever to open the rear section of the sewers, which is what I want. There's also sometimes a little named guy with an extra chest right there. I always go, we came from over here, I always go left first to open up the back side of the sewers, because that opens that door, and on the other side of that door is our first actually good to farm item. Like, legitimately, I have spent a lot of time running over here and hoping that this monster right here spawns, and it did not spawn for me today. This is where muck spawns. It is a named ooze. You kill it, you get a treasure chest, and that treasure chest has a chance of dropping a muckbane. It is a club that is immune to the damage that you would normally take hitting oozes. Everybody used to farm that item. Everybody just had a muckbane. It's easy to farm. Get a muckbane, put it on your bar, and every time you see an ooze, you just pull it out and you club the ooze to death. I think it even does bonus damage against oozes. It's like the easiest ooze killing weapon to get, and you don't have to worry about breaking your weapons. I unfortunately did not get to look for it. There is a fire trap right here, and it shoots forward. So if I run forward, it'll hit me in the back. So we're gonna try. We're gonna be a little mean. Go. You send the hired help first. That'll happen a lot. You can send in the hirelings, and they can do a lot of the things that would have been dangerous for you to do. Just trying to kill this shaman because it's the dangerous enemy. And oh. Smite! Of course I miss with the smite. Alright, quest done. Kind of sad we didn't get a muckbane, but you do have a higher chance of getting named items on higher difficulties. So this is a quest I would go back and play on hard again. Maybe even elite if I start out leveling it. Just to get a muckbane. It is not integral to this character. When we get our Feydark Illusionist tree online, which I can't actually, I think that my character technically can because I bought it, but I'm gonna wait until I would have unlocked it to use it. Like the second ability we get in this tree makes your weapon immune to all weapon damage, so we'll just never have to switch weapons ever once we get it. So I'm not going to go out of my way to get a muckbane because it would be useless once I get that ability. Doop de doop doop. None of this jumps out at me, so grab the weapon because they supposedly sell for a little bit more. How we doing on... Looks like we've done a pretty good job of chunking out the level 2 quests. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left, and some of them are very short. Yep. So there is... This is technically a level 3 quest, but we're standing right here. It's another solo quest. So, can't bring in the hireling, but solo reduces the difficulty so much that we're just gonna walk in here. We literally took 0 damage. Like, that guy hit us and just did... He rolled a 0 for damage. The shtick here is that there's a bunch of thieves playing with explosives, and they really shouldn't be. And if I was slightly less sloppy, I would kill these guys without hitting the thing called explosive barrel. The explosive barrels would do way more damage to you than the thieves will. So wait for him to notice you and beat him up, not standing next to the barrel. Just, hey you. Yeah, you. Okay, now you're dead. We have to double back to the entrance a little bit because there was one more guy. There's... Oh, somebody was chasing me. Good, now I didn't have to look for you. 5 left. A lot of the harbor quests are short and sweet. When we get into, like, the later quests, it's going to be like... The videos will go from having, like, 15 to 20 quests in them because we're just tearing through stuff to, like, 4. Once we get into, like, the more handcrafted, newer stuff. But right now, we're just shotgunning it. We're doing the harbor. We're getting as much harbor stuff done as we can. Doop, doop, doop. I want to say there's actually 3 guys. One of them is stealthed. Oh, it's in this room. Slay the master thief. Okay, slain. I mean, I guess I could open the treasure chest. Okay. Now done. Technically that was a level 3 quest, but I'm not going to run all the way back up here to try to remember which level 3 quest I skipped. I just put my spreadsheet together today of every quest in the game. There are, give or take, miscounting, about 440 quests in the game. There's a lot. A lot. Alright. We have been hired to be a tax collector. Could be worse. Oh, and this is another solo one, so no. No hireling. So you know this is not going to be a long quest. You know, for a guy who has this gigantic house, right? He has all of this space. Oh, look, traps. Presumably this guy can afford to pay his taxes, right? Oh, look. He even has robot dogs. There he is. I know, they want payment. He's a miller. Now, a mill, that's the thing you make grain, right? Or you process grain into flour kind of thing. Why? None of this looks like, oh, I'm a miller. This looks like I provide the alcohol for, like, every illegal speakeasy in the city. He has this gigantic... He has more basement than everyone in my family has house added together. And he's got this 2-pound box of goods that he's like, fine, here's my 2 pounds of taxes. And yeah, maybe it's 2 pounds of gold, right? That would be... I don't know how heavy a piece of gold is. I don't have any. Like, maybe that's a lot of money, but this guy's got he's got like an inverted castle, right? He's got a castle underground. Not to mention, it's full of crates. And those crates are probably not empty. This guy's like some billionaire trying to get away with not having to pay the tip on his Uber delivery. That's what it looks like to me. Perfectly happy smashing his dogs. So, this guy is a good boss. This guy says, hey, my employee is in there doing a job. He's having some trouble. I will hire you to go and help my employee. Sweet. Basically, this guy got stabbed by a scorpion. He's like, screw that. I'm not going back in there. So we're going to beat up all the scorpions. This is a very, very short quest. Come on, scorpions. There's even a named scorpion that usually pops up as if it's any more deadly. Come on. Take that, Blacktail. Oh, he's gonna burrow underground again. Okay, he's dead. Alright, quest done. You have to actually go tell him you're done. And he goes, woo, thank you. Here's a chest. And then he can... So, House Kundaric, he's a warder, which basically is like putting the defenses up in this house. And now that the scorpions are dead, he can pretty much keep them from coming back now that they're not in there. It's interesting the kind of things you'd have in a magical society. Just... Of course you wouldn't need an actual rat catcher. You would just enchant a mechanical cat. Or you would ward your house so that nothing could get in anyway. So down here by the harbor proper, there's another little solo quest here, which I think I'm going to go do the other quest first because my hireling is about to expire. That's a level 4 quest. We're going to do that later. You could do it now. Because we're level 3. We could do it. But we're going to go do all the level 2s first. Something we can do for House Fjarlin. So, Stormreach is basically ruled by a bunch of different guilds. It is very, 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 very similar to Ravnica, if you're familiar with Ravnica from Magic the Gathering. Basically the same idea, just not as strictly colors of magic segregated. So House Fjarlin is the Entertainers Guild. They're the ones who put on the performances. They are the ones who they're the entertainers. They're also the spies. They're the ones who have the actual spy network, and being the entertainers, being the clowns, is their cover. Yeah, if it works, it works. Most people don't know that they are the spies But we were just hired by a House V. Arlen guy, an basically a juggler, right? We were hired by a juggler to break into this place and get a artifact case. How did he know it was here? Why does he want it? Why doesn't he get it? Ow. 20 damage from falling down that very short drop. And I sold that quarterstaff, dang it. Take this, ooze. I'm gonna throw darts at you. I didn't mean to sell that quarterstaff. Derp. Oh, did we go the wrong way, too? Some of these quests, like, I've done them probably 50 or more times. But sewers start to just look like sewers, right? These are actually well done sewers, in my opinion. Like, I actually think there's a lot of detail. These sewers are the most alive sewers I've ever been in. There's cool, like, lantern-y thingies. There's water spraying around. Like, this feels less like, oh, I'm in a sewer, and more like I'm in a water level. Like, this is what, like, the water temple in Legend of Zelda gives me the same vibe. Just this kind of wet artifact kind of vibe. Which makes sense, because Stormreach was built on the ruins of an ancient giant city. So, these sewers are humongous and spacious, but they're humongous and spacious because they were the giants' sewers. That people... I don't go this way yet. That people came and put ladders and stuff in. Well, the giants enslaved the elves, so they probably had ladders and crap so that their slaves could go and work on stuff. But also because modern people have come here and put, like thieves. Like, obviously, there's like a million thieves guilds. Oop. I am absolutely not paying enough attention to which way I'm going. We had to go up there and turn that valve to open up a gate over here to actually get the valve we need to open the door. There's a back door into the same house that we were in the previous quest. They had that miller who fought us instead of just giving up his taxes. That guy. This is that guy's basement still. Same place. Who do you think comes up here and switches out the Power Stone candles? Alright. Beat all these guys up, and artifact crate. Yoink. Done. Now we'll just go turn it in. Oh, it pops us out way over here. Pops you out by all your class trainers. This was the quest entrance right here. Yes, there's a very weird looking house right there. That was added much later for a different quest chain. It's supposed to stand out. It's supposed to not look like it belongs there. That's part of its shtick. It's very intended. Not that their artist got a little color happy. Alright. Nothing's gonna look interesting. I am going to show you something. In addition to the repair, there's buy back. If you realize you sold something, like your quarterstaff that you were using to beat up oozes, you can generally go in here and unsell your items. Apparently, oh, page 1 of 2. There we go. There's my quarterstaff. Buy back. It doesn't. You buy it back for the same amount of money that you sold it for. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, if you forget to put the lock icon, which you can do from the sell window, boop. If you forget to put the lock item on something and you sell it and you realize it within half an hour, give or take, go back to the buyback tab. I believe that also works for if you drag something out of your inventory to destroy it and you change your mind. I think you can go to the buyback tab and get it back there too. Alright, we're going to go do that solo quest, and then we got to buy another hireling. But instead of the level 1 hireling, we're level 3 and potentially level 4 if we maybe go another level without one. Ah, bunch of spiders in your crypt? Easy. This is absolutely something that somebody would be like, oh my god, I need to hire somebody to go do this. We're the exterminator. We need to clear out all the spiders. We need to not break the crypt itself. Which is going to be tricky because I have a giant sword. I'm gonna switch to my dart. It does very little damage. But I can draw the guys back over here to where I can swing at them with impunity. Oh, there's a spider. Hey, you. Also, hey, you. I mean, this one might die before it even gets to me. Yeah. Take that, spider. Just trying not to break all of these very easily breakable things. Yeah, take that. We're going to come fight over here. Nice big area for me to swing my sword. There's 3 more in the east wing, huh? Switch back to my little dart. Oh, there's one way over there. I'm going to back up. I think I've got plenty of space here. Here, little spider. Come on. For some reason, you think you can take that giant armored dragon man. Alright. Just annoying the spiders at this point. Alright, I'm going to put my back over here. Just making sure I'm not too close to hit those sarcophagus. I don't know if I've ever failed this quest, but you can. If you break too many, it'll just kick you out of the quest. You have to start over. Very easy to break them right here if you just started fighting. I didn't even break that one. I was walking around. The spider swung at me and broke that one. The spider did it. So yeah. Be glad it's not don't break anything. It's don't break more than 10. Or break fewer than 10. Let's go stand in a nice open area. Paying attention to my positioning. Just not for the reason that you normally do. And this side is just like the other side. We're going to turn the lever. And I'm going to somewhat faster get out of here, so we're not tempting that spider to swing and miss next to the sarcophagus. There we go. Now that we've pulled both levers, this obvious room that I didn't go in before is now open, and that's where the boss is. There's no sarcophagus in there, too. I could fireball in this room, and it wouldn't do anything. This spider's big enough I could understand it being aggressive. That spider, like, yeah, I could see that spider running at me like, I could take you. All the little ones, though? There's no way. Give me my reward. Another quarterstaff, so we would have been okay if I had not gone back for that. Alright, quest list. How am I doing for level 2 quests? Sewer, repo, tome, missing in action. Okay. There are 4 left. We're going to do one that I walked past. I thought about it at the time. There was 2 kind of next to each other. I did one and I forgot to do the other one. This quest used to be over there at that lighthouse where we popped off the boat. They moved it. I don't know why. Well, they probably moved it because A, that's now where you come off the boat from Korthos. And B, it was so far out of the way, a lot of people, I think, just didn't realize the quest was over there without having to look it up. So instead, now it's over here. And we're going to try to do it without the hireling. Which is probably a bad idea. So, we're here to get a specific book. We're supposed to steal a book. I believe that it's a dangerous book, like he shouldn't have it. And we're basically walking in going, "Could I look at your books, good sir? I am absolutely what you would think is coming in to, I need a book, good sir." I am a paladin, so that kind of helps. But I'm still carrying my sword around. So, we're totally just gonna wait for him to walk away. Oh, thanks for leaving me alone. Doop de doop de doop de doop doo. And eventually,
the librarian has left the room. Quick,
steal the book.
The librarian's voice shrieks.
Unfortunately, he's not that dumb. So, he activates a whole bunch of traps to just insta-kill you. We're gonna go this way. Skeletons. Never a good sign. If you go to somebody's house and they've got skeletons, like literal skeletons, they're probably a bad guy. Apparently those don't want to fight me. I thought those were zombies. So, I have made the mistake of, hooray, I hit the lever, I turned and I went to go the other way. That is not what this lever's for. This lever brings up some zombies. We kill these zombies. Sure. But you're supposed to go hit this underwater lever to drop that force field. You gotta do a little exploring. It's not that one. That's kind of a trap lever. You actually, I'm pretty sure you don't need to pull that lever at all. Get the underwater one. Pull that one. Now we're done with this wing. This quest has a little bit of backtracking and it kind of bugs me, but it's only a little backtracking. Go down the other way, and now we're going to go into the room that I would have really liked to have the hireling for. Put on my shield. there is a bunch of lightning shooting into this water. It's ouchy. If you are smart enough, my intelligence is too low. Ow. So I cannot turn off the lightning. If you have an intelligence-based, well, even I have a 8. I think you only need like a 12. You can turn those runes off and not get electrocuted as you run through the room. But I'm on normal mode. So, put my shield up. And we're going to run through. In a pinch, I have my lay on hands. So I could click this for an instant heal if I get too low. And I think we're going to be fine. And that's what's 0 electric resist on normal mode. There's an expectation when you get into like hard mode or especially elite mode. There's an expectation that you are going to either have, like, you're going to bring somebody who can do the thing, right? They don't expect you to just throw yourself through the trap on elite. They expect you to bring somebody to disable it once you get to a certain level and a certain difficulty. You know how I disable those traps? I walk around the back. There is a trap box if you're a thief. I believe it's right in the middle of this bookshelf on the front side. But that still doesn't let you leave because you still need the book. Here's a little rune, kind of tucked away. We need to hit that rune. It would turn off the trap in the next room. And by trap, I mean another one of these Frankenstein-style zombie animation things. Also a bad thing to find at your friend's house. If you find out that they've been making themselves some Frankensteins, maybe call the cops. So this bookshelf has the book we're looking for. Ta-da. There's an extra chest in here, I believe. Oh, you know, there's a lever. Yeah, I think there's an extra chest in there. Pull the lever, fight some enemies. I'm not going to bother. I have died to going, where's the book? Guess it's in there. Bloop. And then I died to that fight. You have to run all the way through the quest again, and you go, oh, the bookshelf was right there. This treasure chest is trapped. See if I can get close enough to trigger the trap. Whee! Yeah. This counts as 2 traps, because each side will do damage, not just the one. Free stuff. Alright. 3 level 2 quests remain. Here's your book. The 12 is who. So, the guild that hired us to go steal that book, they are the Mages Guild. They are potentially the smartest and most important guild in the city. So, it's like if Hogwarts was like, hey, go get that book. That guy shouldn't have that book. And you're like, well, you are Hogwarts, so I will do this because you are Hogwarts. And we are going to ride our happy little horse to go buy a new hireling. And we're going to level up. Because I'm going to be so over-leveled no matter what. Oh, hey. This guy will give us our 3rd little bag. You just talk to him, he gives it to you. This gathers things like chocolate and other ingredients. What counts as an ingredient versus a collectible versus a gem is kind of arbitrary sometimes. But just get all 3 bags. It'll save you a whole bunch of inventory space in the long run. Alright. We are Paladin. So we're going to go Paladin, level up. Every 4 levels, you get a stat point. We are always picking Charisma. We always put our point into use magic device. And we get spells. Magic. We get to cast spells, but not really. These are mostly low-level buffs. They're not bad. Some of these are legitimately good, and you will use them all the way through your career. Except, this is just the summary screen. You need a wisdom score of 10 plus the level of the spell to cast it. We can cast level -1 spells. -2. We can cast -2 spells. So even though we have a spell slot, so we could put one of these spells in there, and we could cast that spell until we run out of mana. We are 3 wisdom short. Now, why is that? Why didn't I put points into wisdom at character creation? I believe I mentioned this at the time, but give me a moment as I grab a level 4 cleric. There's a lot more options as you level up. I pretty much only grab clerics. Does this guy have haste? No. So we're going to grab 3 of that cleric. So, your character stats for spellcasting, it only cares about your current total, not your natural total. So if I had an item that gave me +3 wisdom, we'd be good. The most wisdom we will ever need is 14. That is only an increase of 6. That is a very small... That's an incidental drop in the bucket once we get to, like, level 20. Very easy. Any old wisdom item will give us plenty. It's only here at the very beginning that we're going to have a few little... We're going to have a little stretch if we can't cast spells yet. Then we're going to get the wisdom, and then we're never going to care again. To equip spells, you have to be in a tavern like the one I just walked into. You go to spells, and you're going to drag the spell into your slot. And as you level up, you get more slots. I think we max out at 4 as a paladin for level 1 spells. I'm going to put Divine Favor in there. Oh, it won't even let me put it there because it's low. But I would drag it there. It'll show up on my master list here, and I would drag it to my bar, and I could cast it until I run out of blue bar. Eventually, I will have enough wisdom, and then we shall cast the spells. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is the marketplace. This is technically the area after the area we're in. This has got a lot of shops. It's got this cool tent in the middle. Lots of, like, more giant ruins because it was an old giant city. Neat fountain. Yeah, lots of cool stuff here. And strangely, the last, or 2 of the last level 2 quests are just over here in the marketplace instead of in the harbor. So, we run over here, we do them, and we'll go get the last one in the harbor. So, missing in action. Some adventurers have gone missing in action. We are here to go find them. Drag my new hireling to the bar. Go ahead and set him on aggressive, and we just go. Ooh and ooze. I didn't put the quarterstaff back on my bar yet. Okay, good job, hireling. So there's a few interesting bits to this quest. Basically, we're going to go left, hit a switch. Go right, hit a switch. Go down the middle, fight a boss. Fairly standard. However, there's a whole bunch. We got super ambushed there. You can see Me and the hireling are both noticing drafts. Because a lot of these little walls with like stairs leading up to them are actually secret doors. And behind a couple of them are valves that are going to shut off traps that haven't gone off yet. Oh, sure, I'll help you kill the ooze. There are, on this side, a bunch of lightning traps. Get out of here, troglodyte. None of them go off until after we hit the lever that is required for this side. So you come in fighting enemies. You go out dodging a trap. So far, so good. Oh no. Dead bodies. We found some of the missing party. And then there's the lever I need to hit. So, there's nothing behind us. If I move over here to the lever, it spawns some bad guys. If I pull the lever, or the valve, it spawns a caster. If I were to just run in here and turn that, I'd be fighting them all at once. But if I run in here, spawn the first guys, kill them, then pull the thing, kill the other guy. Similarly, on this side, we get close, the dead adventurers get up, and they're actually zombies. So what you don't want to do is run in here, trigger the zombies, not realize it, run over here, not realize you spawned guys, hit the thing, and you're fighting all three groups at once. It's normal mode. I would just cleave them all anyway, but don't screw up on hardcore and trigger 3 spawns at the same time. So since I am the dumb, my guy can't open the things to turn off the trap. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to put up our shield, and we're going to try to jump over the source of the trap. We're also going to time it so that there was a chance we would have just not got hit anyway. It's going to go bzzzt. We jump. We made that one. Took no damage. Wait for it to burst. Boing. Made it. And I didn't just make my saving throw. We did not see my dice. It did not say save. I just made the jump and I didn't even have to roll. See? I didn't do that. I didn't time that one right. So I took a damage even though I did make my save. If you jump over a trap, it's like you're rolling infinity on your save. So this side is similar. We're going to kill some guys. More guys than I remember being in here.
Along the floor and walls of the sewer, you find signs of a significant force of the past.
And we find the exact same scenario. Valve. Bodies. Take that, Cobalt Warrior. Yeah. Play 301 with your face. So let's do the zombies first this time. You should do the zombies first. Because if you screw up and you die to this grouping, you can just walk your ghost right over there and activate the shrine. But if you haven't killed the zombies first, you're going to pop up at the shrine at 1 HP, and then the zombies are going to attack you. So do the zombies first. We just get close enough to spawn the first couple guys. Then we pull the lever. And you can see we've got a different kind of trap. It's a spike trap. Spike traps, you literally just run in between where the spikes are. There's no reason to take damage from a spike trap where you have like 1.5 million car lengths in between all the spikes. Just pay attention because some of them are a little bit staggered. Like they'll go perfectly straight and then like half a tile over. So don't run onto a spike because you didn't realize that it moved a bit. This boss is actually kind of scary. There are 4 casters in little nooks, and as a melee, I don't have an easy way of getting them out of there other than run up to each of them, and you're getting hit by 3 casters no matter which way you go. Plus the boss starts chasing you. If you can, draw them out of the room. Throw a rock or like a throwing weapon. Try to get one of their attention, walk around a corner, draw them to you so you're not fighting at a disadvantage in that room. But still, on normal mode, I can just oonga boonga my way through. Just take whatever. And now she has another one, the Sunken Sewer. There's a troglodyte down here causing mischief. Troglodytes are very smelly. And that's not a racist thing. That's their shtick. Troglodytes legitimately have the ability troglodyte stench. If you get close to them, you have to make a save. And if you fail your save, you get slowed dramatically. I'm immune to disease because I'm a paladin, so I'm pretty sure I just ignore that. A trap. Again, you don't stand too close to it, but you can Doctor Who your way through most of these traps. Wait for it to turn off. Run through. Wait for it to turn off. I didn't time it very good because this one goes faster. You could also go around the outside. This set is slightly lower. So like if you wait till it goes off and jump around the corner, you could potentially, even if you mistime it, let's find out. Yeah. I'm purposefully jumping over this one while it's active. Okay, it didn't work that time. I'm going to do it one more time. Active, jump. Because I'm jumping from slightly higher. I'm just going over the trap. And if you go over the trap, it's like rolling infinity on your save. So I have to use my dart because I can't reach the guy up on the ledge otherwise. You know what I should do? We have these little weapon set things. What this does is if you're like a dual wielding guy, you could put both of your weapons in the set and then drag the set down to your bar so you don't have to manually equip both of them all the time. For instance, you know, if I have something like this shield and I would like my dart and my shield at the same time, and now I don't need them separately on here, my dart and my shield are now equipped at the same time and it saves me a button. Because I really don't need them separate. And now, so when I go through the trap, I still have a weapon equipped, and when I just want my ranged weapon, I have my shield equipped. Win-win! 2 levers brings down the first bridge. The other 2 levers, you have to jump off the bridge, swim over here, jump out of the water because that's a thing. Swim across. This is where having extra humans would help. You can all split up and go get them and you don't have to go and do everything yourself, but you probably aren't watching my channel if you're into playing with other people in the game. Because you'd be just playing the game with them and they'd be telling you all of this while you're playing. I want to say we're most of the way through the quest now. Just beating up some undead because apparently it's a spooky place. I'm not even going to bother with this sentry. The end of the quest is right here. His friends are not going to jump off of that cliff, swim underneath this giant caged arena, and up the sewer grate. I don't know how I figured this out the first time. Like, you can see it when you're standing up there. You can see it. You're like, oh, how do I get in there? And I don't know. I just decided that it must be that I swim underneath. I mean, you're in the water anyway to get over here. So, you come in here. It shuts you in. It will also shut out any of your friends who were too slow to get in here, so be careful if you are playing with people. Everybody come in at the same time. And then when you walk over to the treasure chest is when it shuts and the boss spawns. We killed the troglodyte leader. We take our loot. We leave. One quest left. One horrible quest left. It is, I will say, I like the concept. I don't like the execution because of things that happened after the quest came out. So this is a very old quest we're heading to, which I believe it is the last, the last level 2 quest. Gonna finish off the harbor with Stealthy repossession. This is the guy I thought we were talking to earlier. He sold some stuff to some kobolds, and the kobolds take it as like this religious item of power. The thing is, it's encouraging all the kobolds, and they're getting kind of uppity now. Plus, the way gods work in Eberron, you might accidentally actually turn one of the kobolds into a god if he is, like, exhibiting any sorts of power, like the kobold shamans do, and he has this artifact thing that everybody's worshipping. Whoopsie. You might actually cause some problems. So we have to go, and we have to get him back. However, if we kill the prophets, you know, the actual culty kobolds, that'll only cement the faith. We'll turn them into martyrs. We have to not turn them into martyrs. So I'm going to put my shield and my dagger, or my dart up. We can't kill the prophets. We only have, I think, kill fewer than 6. We cannot afford to kill them. My hireling is on passive, so I can manually click on me and heal myself. Every other kobold, yes, I can throw daggers or whatever at other kobolds to kill them, but we cannot kill the prophets. Oh, there's so many prophets. The reason this quest is a pain in the butt is you used to be able to just come in, like say at a couple levels over, and do what I'm doing here. Hit the levers to open the doors and just ignore the kobolds. The problem is I can't even reliably throw at it. I hit a different kobold than the one I was aiming at. The problem is this. Dungeon alert. Which is now yellow. If we don't kill enemies and there are too many things aggroed on us at once, and we're just ignoring them, The enemies get an attack bonus. The enemies get a damage bonus, I believe. And you get a speed debuff to force you to fight the enemies. Why would they put this in the game? It's a technological limitation. That's a lot of computer-generated stuff that's all just for me. See, this is what we wanted to not do. Get out of my way, Cobalt. Thank you. Go. Go. Go faster. Out of my way, Cobalt. See, that's a prophet. We can't kill the prophet. And now I have to aim for that shaman. Get it. We're slowly making progress. If it wasn't for the dungeon alert, we would be done with the quest. But here's the thing. Even if we were done with the quest, and I'm gonna... Wow. I have to wait for him to, like, path his way around, because I might have to kill a prophet just to make a path. I thought we got past for a second. Oh, he moved. He moved slightly. There are 3 prophets in our way. Can I get to that box? What about you? What are you? Another prophet? Can I climb this box, please? The reason I say it's a technological limitation is too many people were ignoring the monsters because the monsters couldn't kill them, and the servers kept having to keep... I didn't even attack. How did one of them die? Prophet, regular Cobalt. The servers get taxed a little much because this is an old game. Alright, we're only down to orange alert. I might have enough of my jump back. Yes. Yes. We really don't want to be crowd surfing on the kobolds. Take that, kobold. I'm trying to kill everything else to reduce our dungeon alert and get some of our movement back. Yeah! Yeah, was that enough? Yeah. We broke free. We're gonna go up this ladder. The kobolds can't go up the ladder. We are now temporarily safe. Target myself. Tell the hireling to heal me. And now I have a way easier time throwing my dart to kill them from up here. I definitely want to kill Cobalt Shaman. We're only on normal mode, so they're having a hard time killing me. Oh, we've already lost half of our dudes, and we're not even trying to kill them. Cobalt Thrower, yeah, we'll kill you. Prophet, Prophet. There's a warrior right there. One click at a time. Why are you almost dead? I must have an item on me that does, like, damage back when I get hurt, and I didn't notice. Oh, or maybe he does. Anyway. We're down to no alert now. So it was a technological thing. It was all of this computer AI power going to just me, and the game didn't shut the instances down when you left. So you take 50 kobolds that are all looking for me, and I've been out of the quest for 10 minutes. You multiply that by I've been in 10 quests, that's 100 different, how many did I say? Let's say it's 50 kobolds, 10 different quests. That's 500 that's 500 things the computer's trying to keep track of, trying to find me. You times that by 1,000 players, it starts to really add up. I didn't hit this lever on the one I was standing on. Damn it. Thank you. The hireling, I targeted it and I got it with the hireling. Those two green things open the gate and we're very close to our objective. Oh, we're down to only... We need to hit one more lever. We have no alert right now, so it should be pretty easy. Juke all of these guys. Oh, we're back to just green. And got the thingy. Yes, pick it up. As soon as you have your XP, it no longer matters what happens to these kobolds. It says I failed the quest. I did not fail the quest. I already got my XP. All of these can now die. I probably won't even get to kill all of them, because the game will automatically kick you out of a quest you failed. So the failure coding will probably kick in and throw me out of the quest soon. Alright. That could have been worse. We could have been stuck at the bottom of those stairs for a lot longer. There's also some named shamans that can appear here, and they can cast things like Sleet Storm, which slow you down and blind you, so you're blind, sliding around in a sleet storm. You can't move, and being hit by 50 different kobolds yet. So, Dungeon Alert didn't used to exist. So, without Dungeon Alert, you just move fast. And that was how you beat this quest. You would just outrun the kobolds, and it was not a problem. With Dungeon Alert artificially making you slow because you're ignoring the kobolds, because you're supposed to ignore the kobolds. I don't like that. I don't like doing that quest at level. I come into that quest at like level 20, and I go into elite mode to mop up all of my elite completions, because I'm literally invulnerable, and I usually have other abilities like I can cast invisibility, which will make it harder for them to follow me, and maybe they'll give up and walk back to where their starting spot was. Or I'll have like Mass Hold Monster, which doesn't kill them, but it keeps them from chasing me. You'll have more options. There's no limit to how long or when you can go in a quest. I can be level 32, I think, is a level cap, and walk into that level 2 quest. Still, that was all the level 2 quests. So I believe next time we're going to move into... I mean, there was a decent number of level 2 quests. I don't think I can do all the level 3s in one sitting. Level 3 is going to get cut up a little bit. I believe we're going to do the capstone to the harbor. The rite of passage for everybody coming and clearing out the harbor from before you move on to the marketplace. We're going to do the waterworks. It is a chain of 4 quests given by Harbor Master Zinn right here. It's its own little area. But that's going to be next time. Hopefully, this is of use to somebody out there just trying to understand the beginning of this game. Yeah, the very first quest you get is literally stand around and vamp about random stuff for 5 minutes. But after that, most of these are run through the sewer, kill the kobolds. Is there a lot of variety? No. But there's not really supposed to be. Most of these are very, very old quests. This game's level cap used to be really low. When I first started, the level cap was like 10. 10. The level cap was like 10. Something ridiculously low. So, level 2 quests, yeah, they were still being played by max level characters. Coming back to get your Muckbane, trying to, like, maybe you get the fastest time on stuff. Like, this used to have a lot of people this was one of the only areas with stuff to do. Back at the start. And they never got rid of the stuff. You know, it's not like World of Warcraft or Dark Age of Camelot or EverQuest that nobody plays in the original zones and they need massive updates in order to keep them relevant. Yeah, they've updated the graphics here a couple times and moved some stuff around. But most of these quests are just like they used to be. And they're fine. They don't really need a whole lot of fixing. Not in my experience. Yeah, there's a lot of run through the sewer, kill the Cobalt. But you're a greenhorn adventurer. This took 2 hours by my clock. 2 hours to clear all the level 2 quests while randomly talking about them all. That's completely reasonable. And now we get to do the capstone. Yes, it's run through a sewer, but we're running through the actual, like, this is where the Cobalts are coming from. This is their main base. We're going to the main Cobalt base. Boom. And then we are basically done with Cobalts in sewers. There's a couple more sewer levels, but they're more like thieves' hideouts or other, like, nefarious necromancers hiding in the sewer kind of thing. We're up to the end. We're up to the capstone. So, next time we finish off the Cobalt threat to the harbor. Thanks for watching.